Okay. 2 out of 5 steps completed. Now let's tackle our sprinkles. Let's make some more room here and we will start from the glazing as our base. Again, I wanna put down the group and select again just by a normal direction in the Y direction. So everything that is pointing upwards, shrinking it down. So our sprinkles just landed on the top surface here. Okay, cool. Let's call this group sprinkles. And we can scatter a bunch of points on them again. Like this. It depends on your taste how much sprinkles you like. I select again those sprinkle group here. And right now you can see they are very evenly distributed. So you can toggle this point highlighting here. A cool feature of the scatter node is this relax iterations. And by shrinking this down, you see the points are way more irregularly. And this results more in a pattern that you would end up with if you just sprinkle those little bits and pieces on top of here. I will go with that. What I want to do now is building the shape for our sprinkles. I will start off with a line and let's hide all the other objects. Okay. So we have the line up here. I want the line to sit always in the middle, so I will put down another match size node again, put it here, and now no matter how long this line gets, it will always sit in the middle, and otherwise it would just grow to the top. So yeah, let's put it in the middle. It is here. Cool, we put it in 1. And I will sweep it, because inside the sweep node we get an arrow because we need to select our second input here and we say round tube. That looks good. We want to have an end cap, a grid in order to get those nice round off endings. I think that is already sufficient and fine. Maybe we make it a little bit smaller like this and we can copy it to our points. We have 2 inputs, the geometry to copy and the points, highlighting it, and it looks horrible. Everything is way too big, everything is oriented in the same way, so we need to change that. Let's fix the size first. For this, take an attribute adjust float. Per default, this is set up to adjust the p-scale. The p-scale is the particle scale, so the size of each point. And the size is read by the copy to points node and is basically adjusting the size of each and every object that comes in here. So by not setting this to add, but to set always and not as a constant value. Right now it's 0. If I would raise this or lower this, you can see I adjust the size of everything. But the real cool feature is we don't set it to constant, we set it to random. And in here we can say a minimum value of maybe 0.1, 0.02 and 0.1. Let's zoom in. Maybe again a bit too small, maybe 0.05 and 0.1. Yeah, that looks as it could work. Let's fix the orientation for this. There's a cool new node that it's called scatter and align. What I end up doing all the time is wiring it after a scatter and changing the mode of the node to add attributes to the existing point cloud, because the points we generated up here. You always need to connect the second part, highlight the node. I don't know what this point normals are missing. Okay, so we need to generate point normals before. Let's do this here. Let's highlight them. You can see we have nice normals. These are getting copied to our newly created points. And with the scatter and the line, we can now manipulate those normals. If we highlight our objects down here, you see that at least now they are following the surface. But in here, we can also say a rotation cone angle. And by cranking this up, 180 degrees should be sufficient. We can completely randomize the orientation of our sprinkles. Cool, this is what we wanted. Now we want to give each and every part a new color. This we can also do here by just colorizing those points, and the color is getting copied over to our geometry up here. So we say attribute adjust color, wiring it in here, and we want to assign a ramp from attribute. We want to assign a random color by element number, and yeah, I kind of like this gradient already. Let's highlight this, and we are granted with colorful sprinkles. Delicious. Cool. Now that we have our sprinkles, we are going to refine a little bit our glazing. Because right now, if we merge these two together, the sprinkles, they will just, randomly intersect our glazing. And what I want is that each of those little particles in the end is leaving a little dent inside the surface, so it looks a little bit more realistic. So let's refine our glazing. What I'm going to do is basically bool our glaze mesh with our sprinkles. So you can see it here, and maybe we are even going to remesh our sweep. Let's say 0.02, 0.06, yeah, that should do it. And bool this out of our surface. Perfect. You see a little bit of the color is going to be transferred as well, but we don't care about this right now. What we care about is to smooth this entire thing a little bit more. So let's see if we can smooth this out a good bit. And if we merge this now together, we will see that we have at least little dents around these areas. Yeah, that looks quite cool. Maybe we can even lower this one step further, so we have a little bit of more polygons to work with around everything. Yeah, I think that's quite cool. Will be just a subtle effect, and I don't want it to compute too long. We could use VDBs as well for it, but I guess this will do the trick. Cool. That means our sprinkles are done as well. Let's get this out here, and we attach it down here. Put it in there, put this in there as well. And we get rid of this. So our node tree is a bit tidied up. In order to also get rid of all those color patches here, let's attach also a color node down here, and we give this entire glazing a nice brownish, let's say chocolate kind of color. Let's do that. Or maybe for the sake of the tutorial, I will go for almost like a Simpsons like pinkish color. Okay, let's do this. Let's highlight it. And we are already pretty good to go. Our next step will be the icing.